Chapter 6. The sons of the prophets said to Elisha, "See now, the place where we dwell before you is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, and take every man a beam, and let us make a place there where we may dwell." He answered, "Go." One said, "Be pleased to go with your servants." He answered, "I will go." So he went with them. When they came to the Jordan, they cut down wood. But as one was felling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried and said, "Alas, my master, for it was borrowed." The man of God said, "Where did it fall?" He showed him the place. He cut down a stick and cast it in there, and made the iron to swim. He said, "Pick it up." So he put out his hand and took it. Now the king of Syria was warring against Israel, and took counsel with his servants, saying, "In such and such a place shall be my camp." The man of God sent to the king of Israel, saying, "Beware that you do not pass such a place, for there the Syrians are coming down." The king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him and warned him of, and saved himself there not once nor twice. The heart of the king of Syria was very troubled for this thing, and he called his servants and said to them, "Won't you show me which of us is for the king of Israel?" One of his servants said, "Not so, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet who is in Israel tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedchamber." He said, "Go and see where he is, that I may send and get him." They told him, saying, "Behold, he is in Dothan." Therefore he sent horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and surrounded the city. When the servant of the man of God rose up early and went out, behold, a host with horses and chariots was round about the city. His servant said to him, "Alas, my master, what shall we do?" He answered, "Don't be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Elisha prayed and said, "O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see." The Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire around Elisha. When they came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, "Please smite these people with blindness." He struck them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek." He led them to Samaria. It happened, when they came into Samaria, that Elisha said, "O Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see." The Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the middle of Samaria. The king of Israel said to Elisha when he saw them, "My father, shall I strike them? Shall I strike them down?" He answered, "You shall not strike them. Would you strike those whom you have taken captive with your sword and with your bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink, and return to their master." He prepared great provision for them, and when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. The bands of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. It happened after this, that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host, and went up and besieged Samaria. There was a great famine in Samaria, and they besieged it, until a donkey's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. As the king of Israel was passing by on the wall, there cried a woman to him, saying, "Help, my lord, O king." He said, "If the Lord doesn't help you, how can I help you? Out of the threshing floor or out of the winepress?" The king said to her, "What ails you?" She answered, "This woman said to me, 'Give me your son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.' So we boiled my son and ate him. And I said to her on the next day, 'Give me your son, that we may eat him.' And now she has hidden her son." It happened, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he tore his clothes. Now he was passing by on the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within on his flesh. Then he said, "God do so to me, and more also, if the head of Elisha, the son of Shaphat, shall stand on him this day." But Elisha was sitting in his house, and the elders were sitting with him. And the king sent a man from before him, But before the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, See how this son of a murderer has sent to take off my head. Behold, when the messenger comes, shut the door, and hold the door fast against him. Isn't the sound of his master's feet behind him? While he was yet talking with them, behold, the messenger came down to him, and he said, Behold, this evil is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer?
This is a faithful saying. If a man seeks the office of an overseer, he desires a good work. The overseer therefore must be without reproach, the husband of one wife, temperate, sensible, modest, hospitable, good at teaching, not a drinker, not violent, not greedy for money, but gentle, not quarrelsome, nor covetous, one who rules his own house well, having children in subjection with all reverence. But if a man doesn't know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the assembly of God? Not a new convert, lest being puffed up he fall into the same condemnation as the devil. Moreover, he must have good testimony from those who are outside, to avoid falling into reproach and the snare of the devil. Deacons, in the same way, must be reverent, not double-tongued, not addicted to much wine, not greedy for money, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience. Let them also first be tested, then let them serve as deacons, if they are blameless. Their wives in the same way must be reverent, not slanderers, temperate, faithful in all things. Let deacons be husbands of one wife, ruling their children and their own houses well. For those who have served well as deacons gain to themselves a good standing and great boldness in the faith which is in Christ Jesus. These things I write to you, hoping to come to you shortly. But if I wait long, that you may know how men ought to behave themselves in the house of God, which is the assembly of the living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. Without controversy, the mystery of godliness is great. God was revealed in the flesh, justified in the Spirit, seen by angels, preached among the nations, believed on in the world, and received up in glory.
In the 3rd year of Cyrus king of Persia, a thing was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, even a great warfare, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 whole weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine into my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. In the 4th and 20th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river which is Hiddekel, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with pure gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as flaming torches, and his arms and his feet like burnished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me didn't see the vision, but a great quaking fell on them, and they fled to hide themselves. So I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then I fell into a deep sleep on my face, with my face toward the ground. Behold, a hand touched me, which set me on my knees and on the palms of my hands. He said to me, Daniel, you man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for to you I am now sent. When he had spoken this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, Don't be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I am come for your word's sake. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days, for the vision is yet for many days. And when he had spoken to me according to these words, I set my face toward the ground and was mute. Behold, one in the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke, and said to him who stood before me, Sir, by reason of the vision my sorrows are turned on me, and I retain no strength. For how can the servant of the Lord talk with you? For I have no strength, neither is there any breath left in me. Then there touched me again one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. He said, Greatly beloved man, don't be afraid. Peace be to you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. When he spoke to me, I was strengthened and said, Sir, now you may speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? Now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. When I go forth, behold, the prince of Greece shall come. But I will tell you that which is inscribed in the writing of truth. And there is none who fights with me against these, but Michael your prince. Psalm 119. Blessed are those whose ways are blameless, who walk according to Yahweh's law. Blessed are those who keep his statutes, who seek him with their whole heart. Yes, they do nothing wrong, they walk in his ways. You have commanded your precepts, that we should fully obey them. Oh, that my ways were steadfast to obey your statutes. Then I wouldn't be put to shame when I consider all of your commandments. I will give thanks to you with uprightness of heart when I learn your righteous judgments. I will observe your statutes. Don't utterly forsake me. How can a young man keep his way pure? By living according to your word. With my whole heart I have sought you. Don't let me wander from your commandments. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Blessed are you, Yahweh. Teach me your statutes. With my lips I have declared all the ordinances of your mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of your testimonies as much as in all riches. I will meditate on your precepts and consider your ways. I will delight myself in your statutes. I will not forget your word. Do good to your servant. I will live and I will obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see wondrous things out of your law. I am a stranger on the earth. Don't hide your commandments from me. My soul is consumed with longing for your ordinances at all times. You have rebuked the proud who are cursed, who wander from your commandments. Take reproach and contempt away from me, for I have kept your statutes. Though princes sit and slander me, your servant will meditate on your statutes. Indeed, your statutes are my delight and my counselors.